Many couples have a lot of conflict right now. I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of things going on in the world, and this causes conflict to happen. But when conflict happens with one of the partners being highly emotionally reactive, it can exhaust the person who is trying to stay calm and really discuss what's happening. I have some ideas for suggestions that I'm going to give you today to help you de-escalate your emotionally reactive partner. When you're with someone who cannot stand to hear debate or listen to you when they're upset or to actually discuss something, the relationship is very fragile. Because what happens in a true, loving, long term relationship is there's always conflict. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. It means the two of you are maintaining your own individuality while coming together. But if you can't talk about it, if you have to deny it's happening because you're afraid of what your partner's reaction will be, that's not a good thing. And that leads to other secrets in the marriage, which can be damaging to your relationship overall. So let's go through ways to de-escalate your partner. The first one, take a brief moment to ground yourself before responding. When your partner says something that is just a curt reaction, it's important you don't come back and mouth off or say something that you know is going to take the discussion in a downward spiral. Remember, the most important person you can control, and perhaps the only one in this conversation, is you. So ground yourself before you get into the discussion that you believe needs to be brought up. Secondly, communicate how you feel and focus on the impact of their behavior. I think it's important that you state, I feel like this is an important discussion because this is what I'm feeling when we talk. And then it's important that if they react at that time, that you note that and say, what you're doing right now is making me uncomfortable. It's making me feel like you don't want to hear this, like you don't want to talk about it. And I'm sick of denying it. We need to get it out there and process a better way. Thirdly, try to understand your relationship dynamic. Take your argument apart. When does one partner begin fighting below the belt or saying caustic things? And what is the possible feeling? Is it fear? Is it afraid of abandonment? Or are you going to react to their fear by coming back with something angry? When you dissect the argument, many times you can do your own work here and you can figure out where the temptation is for them to start reacting and perhaps alert them to that cue. You could say something like, I've noticed in the past when I talk about this, you get very upset. And I'm wondering how I can talk about this without you having that reaction, because it's very important to me being able to say it without being worried about how you're going to react. Next, set boundaries for yourself. If you start feeling yourself getting ungrounded or losing it, like, okay, I'm out of this relationship because I can't talk to this person, it's important that you have a boundary. And when you're getting to that point, you say, you know what? I need a timeout. And in fact, suggesting a timeout for you and your partner is a really good idea before you even begin to talk about whatever's causing problems. I think having a boundary and a symbol timeout where you take a break and then come back to discuss it is a very wise step in keeping your relationship healthy. Take a break from talking about it if it gets to be too much. Some topics are hot topics, and I'm not even sure they should be broached. Things about the in-laws or things about children from another marriage, anything like that, if you know it's a hot topic, then it might be important to discuss ahead of time. How can we talk about this hot topic? How can we talk about this without hurting us? Because when somebody says that to you right away, you start feeling like, wow, they really care. Like they want to get to the bottom of it. but yet they understand that this could hurt me. And so together we're going to work as a team to make this happen. And lastly, if you can't do it, if no matter what you say or how you say it, presents a wall of defensiveness or anger, then I really suggest getting professional help, because when a counselor comes in and they hear it, they can many times help disarm it. So both of you can hear the real issue underneath, and then you can work to restore the relationship. When couples work together as a team, they can build confidence so that in the future, more and more conflicts will be able to be worked out, leaving you feeling closer rather than torn apart or dragged through the mud just to discuss a topic that needs to be talked about.